Hi everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Mary.
And we're Bookbuds.
And today we're doing a tag for you. We were tagged to do the English novels tag by Anne with a Book. So thanks for tagging us. And Joe's going to take the lead on this one. So take it away, Joe. We have to go over 5 English novels in this tag that we feel are like the best. Tell us about it.
All right, so my first novel is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. So I was quite the nerd in school.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that, Mary.
I can't imagine that,
I was
Joe.
such a nerd. And I loved English literature class, and I was always so excited to see what books we were going to read and all that stuff. So reading this book, I think, in high school and, like, you know, going through it slowly and, like, having the teacher analyze it and assign some papers to reinforce it. Like, I think that is what helped me to have a fondness for this book.
Yeah.
As well as some others that, you know, are I don't really read like this normally, so, like, I think it took that to get me interested. And I was, like, young and my mind was open and, you know, so it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, so this book follows a young man named Pip. He's a blacksmith's apprentice, and suddenly he comes into, like, this large fortune from a mysterious benefactor and enters into, like, England's high society.
Nice for him.
Okay. So for this next part, I'm going to look at my notes because the names of these characters in these books, like, they're hysterical. Take a listen. You ready?
Okay.
Love these names. Abel Magwitch, Joe Gargery, Mr. Jaggers, John Wemmick, Pip, Herbert, Mr. Wopsle, Mr. Pumblechook, Estella, that's nice, Biddy, and of course we have Miss Havisham.
Okay.
Are these, like, great names?
They are. I have to say, because, like, I've complained to you when there's words that I don't want to pronounce and names that I'm like, how do you say that? But I feel like even if those names, like, if I can't pronounce all of them, they're so unique that it makes it, when you're the reader, you can kind of, like, okay, this Wobble person, what was it? Wobble something, right?
Yeah, Mr.
Like,
Wopsle.
Right, like, you kind of can it makes it easier for the reader to, like, hold the description of who they are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's cute.
Instead of, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Right.
So, in my opinion, I think that Miss Havisham is, like, one of the most memorable characters in literature. Like, she's so interesting. She's like the villain, I guess we could say, the antagonist. So she's a bitter recluse who has, like, holed herself up in her house because she was jilted on her wedding day. Okay. So, like, she's in her wedding dress with her wedding makeup, and the wedding feast in one of the rooms is, like, still there decaying. Okay, she stopped all the clocks because she doesn't want to be aware of time passing. So she's basically heartbroken.
Yeah.
And she's bitter and stuck in the past, and just, this poor woman is, like, a mess. And so she is, like, she just doesn't want anybody else to be happy. So, like, Pip is interested in Estella, and they're supposed to have, like, this little romance, and she tries to ruin it every chance she gets. She doesn't want anybody else to have love or anybody else to be happy. But I just think, like, all those little details, and then, you know, the visual on that is just, like...
Yeah, it paints quite a picture to see her sitting there like that.
In the dark, no windows are open, you know, it's like, oof. Yeah. So, you know, thinking about this book again, it makes me want to reread it and then watch all of the, like, adaptations, all the movies and things, and, like, see how different people interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so Great Expectations.
All right. What's your next one?
Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about is The Hobbit by Tolkien. I get such warm feelings when I think about this book. I love this book. So it's about Bilbo Baggins, okay?
How old were you when you read that one?
Maybe a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that I was always watching the cartoon that came on. Loved it. So Bilbo Baggins is a hobbit, and I like him because he has this internal struggle, like, kind of like me, or kind of like us as readers. Like, he wants to go on a quest really bad. He wants to be a hero.
Right.
But he also just wants to, like, relax in his home and be comfortable and just, like, chill. So it's like, you know,
we like that.
You know, like reading on the couch, or
talking to nobody.
Right.
Or go out and have a big adventure.
Right. So he gets to go on his big adventure, of course. This is his novel, so this is his time. So he goes on a quest with a bunch of dwarves, okay? To, like, the dwarves want to, like, I think, claim back their land because like a dragon has taken over and stolen the land and stolen all the like treasures and gold and stuff like that. So they're going to reclaim it. Okay, and on the way, you know, they come across goblins and trolls, I think, and like a forest full of spiders, and they have to escape in these barrels down this river and stuff like that. And Bilbo meets Gollum and that mysterious ring that we all know about from future books. Yeah.
Good adventure.
Yeah, dragon fighting. It's fun.
Good choice. What's your next one?
Yeah, so now we're going to get a little bit more contemporary, and we're going to talk about The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. You like Ruth Ware?
I've read one of hers.
Oh, and you liked it. You were scared.
I liked that I was scared. It was well written.
You're funny.
I have to read A Woman in Cabin 10, though, because you've mentioned it a lot to me, and I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's the first one that I read by her, and it is about this woman who gets a chance to go on like a luxury yacht, a luxury liner, whatever you want to call it, after she like experienced something traumatic. Okay. Poor thing. She witnesses in the middle of the night, she's woken by screams, and the next cabin over, she sees a woman being thrown overboard.
Okay. Another trauma.
So, yeah, poor thing. So now, like, the rest of the book is like, you know, her trying to solve it. You know, people are trying to cover it up. They're like, there was no woman. What are you talking about? She's like, I was talking to her. I just met her. And now she's gone. Where is she? And all these types of things. So it's like, it's everything that you want in a mystery thriller. It's really fun, really good, and exciting, and twisty, and turns, and yeah. I
like that when people are like made to think that they're losing their mind. Like, gaslighting them like that.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, it just takes it to a whole nother place that you're like, well, I don't know, did she really see it? Like, was it really real? Because then as a reader, you start questioning like the sanity of the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
So this is a good one. Thanks, Ruth.
I'll have to check that one out. What else you got? Number 4.
Okay, we're going to stick with the same genre, and we're going to talk about Lisa Jewell.
Okay, you love Lisa Jewell.
Yes.
So she's an English author?
She is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Many of our authors are. So this is The Girls in the Garden.
Okay.
And this is also the first one I read of Lisa Jewell's.
It's so interesting how the first one you read of an author that you love really makes an impression, right?
It's very memorable, right?
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
Definitely. I've experienced that a bunch.
All right, so this takes place in London, and it opens up with a 12-year-old finding her sister broken and bleeding in a communal park. So they just moved into this neighborhood, and the way that it's set up is everyone's backyard opens up into this communal park. So you all have a view of the park, and
access to like break and bleed people.
Well, you could see everybody's like backyard too.
Yeah.
Like you could see into their house. So there's like, just picture a big circle. So some stuff goes down in that park, and now we backtrack and like find out what happens leading up to that crime. And it's just fun. It's exciting. It's one of those twisty turn thrillers, and
lots of possibilities for whodunit.
So many.
Yeah.
Lisa Jewell.
Cool. And the last one, the 5th one of your top English novels is...
Save the best for last. Harry Potter!
Harry Potter.
J.K. Rowling. So I couldn't pick... I know you're interested in this as well, but my favorite one, I think, is the first time they introduced the Horcruxes. Which one is that, Mary?
I think that's probably 6. The
Half-Blood Prince?
Half-Blood Prince, yeah.
That's my
6th
favorite.
book. As you started saying, I'm like, which is my favorite? And I was like really affected by that book. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We have the same favorite.
I mean, I started loving it at 3 and 4. 5 was dark. It was still really good.
Yeah.
But 6, I was like, oh, wow, really, really gripped by that one.
Yeah. Those Horcruxes, it's just so creative, and what he has to do to get them and go on all those journeys and find this and find that.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like was that like it was an introduction into the Horcruxes, and it left so much unfinished for 7. And what I was used to in the Harry Potter world was like beginning of the adventure, end of the adventure for each school year. So she broke out of that right at the end, which is fine. It was great. It was honestly like needed, you know.
Yeah.
But when I was reading it, I was like, no, now I have to seriously wait for all the rest of this Horcrux nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but that was the best one of Harry Potter. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So I just think like the magic, the characters, the storylines, which are complex at times. Like this is just such a series that, I mean, everybody loves it. It's so popular. It took the world by storm. You know, we have a theme park. I mean, the franchise is just ridiculously huge, and for good reason. Like these books are just,
they were really engaging.
Masterpieces.
Yeah. You know, I want to read some of her other novels. I read the Christmas Pig one. It was, you know, more youthful, but I'd like to read some that she's read as Robert Galbraith.
Yeah.
And she has one coming out that's a part of a series this summer.
Yeah.
And I haven't read even the first one, but I feel like I need to read what she's read, what she's written for adults, just to see what that's like. I know there's mixed reviews out there about them, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I DNF'd the first one.
You did.
Yeah.
See, that's like a waste. Then you can't tell me if it was really truly good or not, because maybe the ending was amazing.
Yeah, and it might not have been the right time for me to read that. I don't even remember the circumstances. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's on my TBR eventually. There's so many things on the TBR.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, well, this was very informative. Thanks for the top 5 English novels that you've experienced. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to think about.
And thanks for the tag, Anne. Now we got to tag some folks.
Oh, wow, didn't think of that.
Okay, so we just looked up some names real quick. Who are we going to tag, Joe?
Literally Low, Dark Roots Creations, and Scribbling Cat.
So it's up to you guys if you want to do this or not. And if there's anybody else that finds this one interesting, go for it. You know, always do a tag that speaks to you. You don't have to do a tag that you're tagged in necessarily. But we'd love to see what you do with this.
And if you're enjoying Bookbuds, give us a thumbs up.
And share us with your friends.
And subscribe to our channel, Bookbuds!
Aren't tags so much fun?
So my first novel is Great Expectations by Charles Dixon. Charles Dixon. He's a new author in case you didn't know him.
Yes, you should read him.
Ready?
No.
Okay. So this novel takes place in London, Mary, because we're talking about English authors.
One more time, I'll be totally fine. I swear.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna look forward.
Yeah, let's look forward. Ready?
No.
Okay. So this novel takes place in London, as we have noted
when you
quite a few
smirk
times.
At me, you smirk at me
Right,
and expect me not to laugh. Smirk. Oh
Take
my
it.
God.
Ready?
Don't laugh. Yeah.
So this novel takes place in London, and it opens up with a 12-year-old finding her sister bleeding and broken in like a broken down hovel. This is not going well.
You're laughing. It's like found her 12-year-old sibling.
Right, dead and bleeding. Oh Lord, we're too desensitized.